Good morning. Addie here. A couple things I'd like to discuss today. Let's see. I'm sure there's a lot of folks here who, welcome to my channel, who already know who I am. And I want to speak a little on something. Let's see. You know, after everything that has happened to me, from everything to the paranormal to the little plane that was buzzing my house. I'm going to catch my BC real quick, guys. When my sheriff's department was circling my home, to the packs of bikers, as well as all of the religious folks. So, a lot of folks tried to call me crazy. A lot of folks wanted me to be seen as crazy. So anyhow, there's not a doubt in my mind there was something I was supposed to be fighting. I did a lot of praying about it. As we all know, the hours I put in between 2018 and 2019, the ordeal with being thrown out of someone's home, having to sit in the vehicle immediately after a tornado and listen to chainsaws coming in. Now, no doubt, people thought I had some type of nervous breakdown, but I feel myself that is not the case. First and foremost, I was exhausted, physically, mentally, and there were a lot of folks that chose to come at me during that time. So did I have to recollect myself? Yes, indeed, of course. Needless to say, I did a lot of praying, and I do believe in the universe and the signs we receive. So some of that praying was, Lord, I just need some kind of time. I just need to know I'm headed in the right direction here. So as I was scrolling one day, this is what I came across. And what stuck out the most for me is when I first saw this, it wasn't so much the case as what stuck out due to some of the things I've experienced myself. This is a child, South Carolina. This was a paranormal case. This was a case from 1994 that they still cannot explain. But let me tell you why this stuck out to me. South Carolina, paranormal, and child. Also, if you guys would go check out, you know, sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. If you guys would go check out, let's see, it's, I think it may simply be listed under Ghost Stories, Morgan City. And that would be Morgan City, Louisiana. I can't tell you how happy it made me to see, you know, lots going on in our world. And I personally feel that something bigger was going on here. And in my heart and soul, I know what that something bigger was as far as when it comes to Carolina. And I'm also going to speak on my own parish of Grant Parish, Louisiana. I felt that there was something bigger happening here because there was a lot that needed to be exposed in Carolina as far as the social workers lying. And, you know, when you're playing with someone's children, you're playing with fire. So, you know, and that's what I was working my way toward. And I've had a lot of things happen between then and now. But this is what I want to speak on. And I'm speaking on the law. I'm speaking on the CPS system. And I'm talking all the way from my parish to South Carolina. I want to speak on the term color of law. It refers to the actions that appear to be legal but are actually illegal. It's often used to describe when government officials abuse their power to violate an individual's rights. Color of law definition: a legal status that a non-citizen may claim when they can satisfactorily prove that they have been continuously residing in the U.S. That one doesn't fall for us. I just wanted to make sure that one was in there. But actions under color of law. It is a legal phrase that refers to an action being performed that is allegedly based on an enforcement statute or legal right. Again, the term color of law refers to actions that appear to be legal but are actually illegal, often used to describe when government officials abuse their power to violate an individual's rights. Now, examples of that would be falsifying records, false arrest, unlawfully taking property, or failing to protect someone from harm, as well as excessive force. Acts under the color of law include acts not only done by federal, state, or local officials within the bounds or limits of their lawful authority, but also acts done without and beyond the bounds of their lawful authority, provided that in order for unlawful acts of any official to be done under color of law. It describes and defines an action that either has a mere semblance of legal right or the pretense of right or the appearance of right. Now, what was done to my son and his children in South Carolina would fall under that pretense of right. The color of law is also defined as an authority using his or her power to willfully deprive a person of his or her rights and privileges protected by the United States. And we can go to that as well, the color of law definition, deprivation of rights under color of law, which is exactly what happened with my son and his children. All right, moving on. We're going to stay on this color of law here a second. Again, a person using or acting upon authority given to him or her by a local, state, or federal government agency. Quick definition again, color of law referring to when someone appears to have the legal right to do something and they actually do not, or vice versa. Acting under color of law. It includes acts not only done by federal, state, or local, but within the bounds or limits of their lawful authority. Acts done without or beyond the bounds of their lawful authority. Again, under color of law. Section 242 of Title 18 makes it a crime for a person acting under color of law to willfully deprive a person of a right or privilege. Miss Social Workers, when my son expressed to you, when my son made reports of abuse, of a woman beating a child in the face and the head with their fist, and you told that man, sir, you should have kept your business in your home. This right here is what you did. Deprivation of rights under color of law. Section 242 of Title 18. You committed a crime, ma'am, under color of law because you willfully deprived that man and his children their rights and privilege of rights. What you did was contravention of law. It was a mere semblance of legal right. It was something done with apparent authority of law, but actually in contravention of law. It refers to the appearance of legal authority or legal right that may not exist. What you did is called discrimination, violation of civil and legal rights. It also falls under police officer in a position to extort protection. It also means to do something illegal, as in using the law as camouflage. It means to make it look like your behavior is not only lawful, but even required by law. Appearing when someone appears to have the legal right to do so, but they actually do not. All right, so let's get down to the law itself. Color law. In the United States Code, the term color of law describes and defines an action that has either a mere semblance of legal right or the pretense of right or the appearance of right, which adjusts and colors the law to the circumstances whilst the apparently legal action is itself illegal. In the U.S. and U.K., let's see, jurisprudence, an action realized under color of law is an act realized by an official as if he or she were authorized to take the apparent legal action not authorized by statute or common law. The term color of law was first used in English statutory law in the 13th century, originating from the fact that the soldiers and officials of the crown carried the flag and coat of arms of the sovereign to indicate that they were acting under legitimate authority of the sovereign. as a descriptor of official malfeasance in the article, The Meaning of Under Color of Law. In 1992, by Stephen L. Winter, said that through the first half of the 19th century, color officii, which was official colors, was a common law term of art referring to the illegal or to the unauthorized actions of governmental officials, which the U.S. Congress applied in several laws, such as the authorization of federal officials to seek the removal of state-level criminal charges presented against them into the federal court system. I do believe that may have a little something to do with your immunity. The term color of law refers to the appearance of legality in the exercise of legal power to realize an action that violates the law. If a policeman exercises color of law authority to arrest a person without probable cause, the arrest was effective in violation of the law. The Federal Bureau of Investigation investigate formal accusations against policemen and policewomen who have acted beyond the scope of their lawful authority and so violating the civil rights of the citizen. Deprivation of rights under color of law. The deprivation of rights under color of law is a federal criminal offense which occurs when any person under color of law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom willfully subjects any person on any U.S. territory or possession to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or to different punishments, pains, or penalties. And that, madam, is exactly what you did. By you going beyond your scope of practice, you meant to punish this man, cause pain and penalties, on account of such person being alien or by the reason of his color or race, then are prescribed for the punishment of the citizen. Not only did you do this to him, you also did this to his children by protecting a mother that was abusive. When you protected this mother, you violated this man's right, you violated this man's children's rights. Therefore, they continued to be abused. When two or more persons conspire to prevent the exercise of constitutional rights or to punish an individual for having exercised them. Now, let me tell you what my son was exercising when he made the complaints to CPS about the abuse of his children. He was exercising his constitutional rights. And by you telling him you should have kept your business in your home, you trumped all over his constitutional rights as well as his children's constitutional rights. When you worked with two or more, being other CPS workers, to shove this under the carpet and keep it hid, that was a conspiracy against his constitutional rights. Did you know the death penalty is applicable in extreme cases where the crime causes death? You better hope his children do not pass away. Yeah. Let's see. Death of the individual being deprived of statutory or constitutional rights. Remedy by civil action is also possible. Color of office refers to an act committed by a public official under the appearance of authority but exceeds such authority. Now, did you not exceed such authority, madam? Because I believe you did, and our constitutional rights say you did as well. An affirmative act or omission committed under color of office is sometimes required to prove malfeasance in office. Well, it seems to me, madam, you did malfeasance in office. So let's go to, real quick, color of, no, we may skip that one. Color of title. Appropriation of name or likeness. Although it is a common law tort, most states have enacted statutes that prohibit the use of a person's name or image if used without consent for the commercial benefit of another person. Now, did some of us not do that? Again, although it is a common law tort, most states have enacted statutes that prohibit the use of a person's name or image if used without consent for the commercial benefit of another person. Would that not also fall kind of under violating someone's rights? A person's exclusive rights to control his, her name, likeness, to prevent others from exploiting personal information without permission is protected in similar manner to a title or trademark, with the person's likeness and personal information, rather than a trademark or title being the subject of the protection. The tort of false light involves a misappropriation or major misrepresentation of a person's character, history, activities, or beliefs. Some bodies of law also explicitly mention the estate of a person. False claims of nobility are most common in the U.S. One who gives publicity to a matter concerning another that places the other before the public in a false light is subject to liability for invasion of privacy. If the false light would be highly offensive to a reasonable person. 2, if the actor acted with malice. Now, wouldn't that fall under some of those YouTube readers? Actors in malice? Being the reason to know of or acted with reckless disregard as to the falsity of the publicized matter and the false light in which the other would be placed. And you can find part of that with Section 652E of the Restatement Second of Torts. Public disclosure of private facts arises if a person reveals information which is not of public concern, the release of which would offend a reasonable person. That would be deprivation of rights under color of law, invasion of privacy, and common law privacy torts. Now let's go to civil and political rights. Civil and political rights are a class of rights that protect individuals' freedom from infringement by governments and social, let me say it again, social organizations. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe a religious group would fall under social organizations, as well as some of these tarot readers. Is that not a social organization? And private individuals. They ensure one's entitlement to participate in the civil and political life of society and the state. Civil rights generally include ensuring people's physical and mental integrity, life and safety, protection from discrimination, the right to privacy, the freedom of thought, speech, and religion, press, assembly, and movement. Political rights include natural justice, procedural fairness in law, such as the rights of the accused, including the right to a fair trial, due process, the right to seek redress and legal remedy, and rights of participating in civil society, politics, such as freedom of association, the right to assemble, the right to petition, and the right of self-defense. These rights must also follow the legal norm, as in they must have the force of law and fit into the system of administrative justice. A key feature in modern society is that the more a state can guarantee political rights of citizens, the better the state relations are with its citizens. Carolina, do you not recognize that? Civil and political rights, from the original and main part of international human rights, they comprise the first portion of the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights, with economic, social, and cultural rights comprising the second portion. The theory of the 3 generations of human rights. First generation would be the theory of negative and positive. Considers them to be generally negative. All right, so here we go with the history. The phrase civil rights, as you can see, what do we see here? The freedom of religion. Now, if my religion falls under my spiritual beliefs, then you need to release my YouTube channel. These rights include, let me just go ahead and read it to you. The phrase civil rights is a translation of Latin, jus civis, right of the citizen. Roman citizens could be either free or servitus, liberal or servitus, but they all had rights in law. After the Edict of Milan in 313. These rights include the freedom of religion. However, in 380, the Edict of Thessalonica required all subjects of the Roman Empire to profess Nicene Christianity. Roman legal doctrine was lost during the Middle Ages, but claims of universal rights could still be made based on Christian doctrine, according to the leaders of Kett's Rebellion, 1549. All bond men may be made free, for God made all free with his precious blood shedding. So needless to say, then we can go on to the U.S. Bill of Rights. Let's see here. Protection of those rights. T.H. Marshall notes that civil rights were among the first to be recognized and codified, followed later by political rights and still later by social rights. In many countries, there are constitutional rights and are included in a Bill of Rights or similar document. They are also defined in international human rights instruments such as the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the 1966 International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Civil rights are considered to be natural rights. A free people, their rights as derived from the laws of nature and not as the gift of their chief magistrate. The question of to whom civil and political rights apply is a subject of controversy. Although in many countries citizens are considered to have greater protections against infringement of rights than non-citizens, civil and political rights are generally considered to be universal rights that apply to all persons. One thing to mention is that if individuals have fewer political rights, then are they more likely to commit political violence, such as in countries where individual rights are highly restricted. That is why it is important for countries to protect the political rights of all citizens. This extends to racial, ethnic, tribal, and religious. By granting them the same rights, of course, in an event to help reduce the risk of political violence and breakouts. Other rights. Custom also plays a role. Implied or unenumerated rights are rights that courts may find to exist even though not expressively guaranteed by written law or custom. And one example is the right to privacy in the United States, as well as with the Ninth Amendment explicitly showing that other rights are also protected. The United States Declaration of Independence states that people have unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is considered by some that the sole purpose of government is the protection of life, liberty, and property, and the habit one indulges. Be that tarot readings, be that fishing. Moving on. Civil rights guarantee equal protection under the law. Equal protection under the law. When civil and political rights are not guaranteed to all as part of equal protection of laws, or when such guarantees exist on paper but are not respected in practice, opposition, legal action, and even social unrest may ensue. So, if you wonder what's wrong with Outer Ring, let me tell you what's wrong with Outer Ring. Social unrest. For example, to what extent should the government intervene to protect individuals from infringement on their rights by other individuals or corporations? In what way should employment discrimination in the private sector be? Or should I say, as well as? First-generation rights include, among others, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom from discrimination, and these were pioneered in the 17th and 18th century during the Age of Enlightenment. It has to do with the Declaration of Rights of Man and of the Citizen in 1789 and the United States Bill of Rights in 1791, which is America's Union. Let's see. This is the organizations that serve as a variety of causes, being which is America's Union that represent the working class people nationwide. Now, I hope you understand that. And I hope you caught the concept of when I speak of freedom of speech. You had no right to try to stop me, delay me, or block my channel. It is simply an expression of my freedom of speech. Now, for those who are listening, if you want to check out some good YouTube channels for tarot readers, go check out Zen Zone. That's Zenzone. You may want to check out that Capricorn reading. Use religion to try and stop you, take you out. And of course, there's the Bee Priestess with Family Wanted You Flatlined to hide cyber crimes. And then, of course, you can still check out Eset Awakening the Oracle. That is ESET with Community in on it. Nothing goes unseen. And as usual, one of my favorite, Slavic Tarot, Officer with the Black Vehicle. That's what I had to say. That's speaking my piece on what was done, and I'm talking from Louisiana all the way to Carolina. There was a lot of civil rights violated here. There was a lot of injustice done here. There was people just stepped all over the judicial system, stepped all over civil rights, and the sad part of all of it is not only did you step all over my son's civil rights, you stepped all over these children's civil rights. Every time these children would express to that social worker, and right now, their little minds are being twisted, so when the day comes, they'll be too afraid to speak the truth. You are some very sorry, sick individuals, and I'm speaking to the CPS workers in Carolina, for the simple fact, these are young women, and what you taught, consciously or subconsciously, these young women, is to fear speaking out on abuse. For that alone, you need to be penalized. How you violated these children's civil rights, you need to be penalized. The torture, mental anguish, and everything you caused this man, you need to be penalized. Matter of fact, federally, in court, you need to be penalized. So, like I said, we do have audio of what was done. Now, again, a lot of folks try to say I'm crazy. No, baby, I just think out of the box. I'm not so stuck in one little box that my mind cannot see more, that my mind cannot think on more, apply more, and use a little critical thinking to more. All right? That's what I have, and that's what I had to say. A lot of people stepped all over my rights, my son's rights, and his children's rights. And I will keep screaming out on all of it. And some folks need to release my channel. And as far as those YouTube readers, baby, I know what you did, and don't you think I'm not saving those videos? Because you see, I just expressed to you my rights. So if you don't think I'm not coming to sue the shit out of some of you, you may want to read up on your rights. It's Zaddy. Peace out.